Two ways to seize power and gain recognition. Today, I'm going to tell you about the establishment of the State of Wei in ancient China, starting with the story of King Wu of Zhou. King Wu had many brothers because his father, King Wen of Zhou, was very fertile. After the Zhou Dynasty defeated the Shang Dynasty, King Wu appointed his two brothers to monitor the remaining Shang Dynasty officials and prevent them from rebelling. However, after King Wu died, his son King Cheng of Zhou was too young to rule, so King Wu's brother, Duke of Zhou, acted as regent. The two brothers who were assigned to monitor the Shang Dynasty officials were not happy about this arrangement and launched a rebellion against the Duke of Zhou. But the Duke of Zhou was an excellent military strategist and easily defeated the rebellion. He then granted the territory to his other brother, Wei Kangshu, who became the first ruler of the State of Wei. Under the guidance of the Duke of Zhou, Wei Kangshu ruled the state according to the same principles that had been used to govern the Zhou dynasty. As a result, the remaining Shang dynasty officials were satisfied with the governance of Wei and no further rebellion occurred. To honor Wei Kangshu's accomplishments, King Cheng of Zhou appointed him as the chief judge of the Zhou dynasty, similar to the Chief Justice of the United States, and recalled him from the State of Wei. Wei Kangshu's descendants, however, were not as capable as he was. When Wei Huanong became the ruler of Wei, his half-brother Zhou Yu launched a rebellion against him. Wei Huanong had relieved Zhou Yu of his military duties and sent him back to his own fiefdom because he feared that Zhou Yu would rebel against him. Zhou Yu wanted to be the ruler of Wei, so he organized a group of prisoners to return to the capital and assassinate Wei Huanong, declaring himself as the new ruler. But a violent seizure of power cannot be sustained by the people's approval alone. So Zhou Yu's friend, Shi Ho, who was very smart, came up with a plan to wage war against the neighboring state of Zhang. First, war could demonstrate Zhou Yu's strength, as he had some military capabilities due to his father's previous appointment as a general. Second, war could divert internal conflicts by bringing people together to resist external enemies. This idea is still commonly used today. Zhou Yu thought this was a great plan, and he had the added bonus that Zheng Zhuanggong's brother was being killed and Zheng's brother's son was seeking refuge in Wei while his mother was being imprisoned. Therefore, the state of Zheng became the target of the war. Zheng was a powerful state, but they knew that they couldn't defeat their rival state, Wei, alone. So they decided to form an alliance with a few other countries, including Song, who had a dispute with Zheng. They even used money to bribe other countries to join their coalition. The war started, but it only lasted for 5 days. The leader of Wei, Zhou Yu, was concerned about leaving his country for too long, so when he saw that Zheng was not going to attack, he decided to withdraw his troops and go back home. When Wei left, the other 4 countries also withdrew their troops. The goal of the coalition was to make the ministers and people of Wei see the bravery of Zhou Yu and recognize him as their king. However, since there was no fighting, no casualties, and no victory, they had to think of another way to achieve their objective. Shi Ho had a brilliant idea. He told Zhou Yu that his father was a wise man who could come up with good solutions. Shi Ho's father was very smart, but he was also very loyal to his lord and believed that overthrowing a ruler was a great betrayal. He often advised his son, but his son did not listen and was determined to carry out his plan. Shi Ho's father suggested that Zhou Yu go to see the king of Zhou and ask him to appoint Zhou Yu as the new ruler of Wei. This way, everyone would recognize him as the rightful ruler. But what if the king of Zhou refused? They could ask Chen Huangong, the ruler of Chen, for help. He had a good relationship with the king of Zhou, and they could bring enough gifts to ask for his assistance. This was Shi Ho's father's advice, and Zhou Yu were very happy to follow it. However, the problem was with Chen Huangong. Zhou Yu had killed the previous ruler of Wei, who was Chen Huanggong's nephew. It was foolish of them to seek his help in consolidating their position. In ancient China, there were many direct blood ties between states, and sometimes even they themselves were not very clear about them. If Zhou Yu had known about this relationship, they would not have gone to seek his help and ended up getting themselves killed. Shiho's father also wrote an urgent letter to Chen Huangong, informing him that Zhou Yu had killed his nephew and that his son was an accomplice. He asked Chen Huangong to kill them both and avenge his nephew. Chen Huangong was politically savvy, and avenging his family was not a problem. However, he recognized that Zhou Yu, although they had come to power through illegitimate means, were still the ruler of a state. Mishandling the situation could lead to war. He replied to the letter, asking Wei to send someone to deal with the matter themselves. Wei was also in a difficult position. They could not bring the state officials back to Wei for execution, as there were many of their supporters there. So they decided to send a general who had a grudge against Zhou Yu to execute them. The execution was carried out outside Chen's borders. The general killed Zhou Yu, and Shiho's father killed his own son in the name of justice. It may seem commendable to kill your own son for the sake of justice, but the reality was different. The deaths of Zhou Yu and Shiho caused even more chaos in Wei.